Yeah, so we go through this every single week, Tony. Blinking means muted, solid means active. You've had this microphone for a year.
Why can't just light off be no power, and then power on is red? Why is there two?
Send an email to Blue. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't make the Yeti.
I know. You would think after a year of using this, I would have had it figured out, but maybe next year.
Maybe. But, well, welcome, guys. Another episode of Juicebox Talk. We're at 54 or 55. I honestly don't know since I misnumbered them.
50-something.
We're mid-50s. That's how it goes. And we have our cousin Marco.
I don't like the way that sounds.
He's above me right now. So if I point up, it points to him. But
That's me.
We were just talking about I have an irrational fear of mirrors. I don't know where it came from, but it makes me very anxious to have mirrors.
Let's see.
I don't know why.
Let's see what the mirror phobia is called.
But whatever that is, I'd like, if I can go with having no mirrors in my house, I would have no mirrors in my house. It just freaks me out, and I don't know why. And
I can probably tell you why.
I think it's like I'm like superstitious. So mirrors are supposed to be like gateways or portals from a spirit world to our world, as well as other electronics are as well. So I try to limit the amount of electronics I have. So I have like a TV and Eduardo, and that's like my phone, but that's really it. Because I'm just afraid to like walk past a room and see something in the mirror that I'm not supposed to see.
Oh, I just assumed it was just like, that's not how you feel like you look. Like, that guy is not as good looking as I am in my head.
So. Who are you imposter? You're not me.
There's actually this thing that they posted a few months ago where it's your brain makes you think you're prettier than you are until you like look at photos of yourself, and that's why you're like, why do I look so fucking busted all the time? I didn't think I looked that bad, but the way you mentally perceive yourself, like visually, is actually
like a
better
Greek
than
god.
You are.
That's what I'm projecting as Greek god. Until I see not.
But, I'm butchering this, but it's isotropia is a mirror phobia, and it says it causes people to be irrational, fearful of mirrors, of seeing themselves in a mirror, and it says the phobia is because that they're afraid of the reflections within. Matthew, why do you hate yourself? I mean, I know why I hate you and why Marco hates you, but why do you hate yourself?
It's one of those where like I have an irrational fear. Like my biggest fear is if I'm looking in a mirror and I move to do something, the mirror doesn't do it. I don't know what I would do if that ever happened. I would have to light my entire apartment on fire. I don't know.
You said you didn't want multiples. Like if the third one didn't move when you moved,
and you
didn't really notice.
Like it makes me like I can look in a mirror. Like when I can look in a mirror, no problem. But if there's multiple mirrors, like when you have like a mirror in front of you, then you have a medicine cabinet to the side, and some medicine cabinets also have mirrors. If there's like two mirrors like mirroring each other, then it freaks me out. I cannot do it. It like I have to leave the bathroom.
Because one of you three leave in the bathroom. You just don't know if it's going to be you.
And I'm like, if it moves,
guy watching you.
If it moves and I don't move, so it's really hard to stay in hotels because a lot of hotels have the multiple mirror things going on.
Matthew can't have mirror sex.
Yeah, do you stay in hotels with mirrors on the ceiling?
A lot of hotels have like the mirror on the wall, and then some will have like mirrors for the closet. Like how the closets have sliding doors, because there's usually more than one person that stay in a hotel, so they have a lot of mirrors in a hotel room. So the
mirror in the hotel room is to make it feel bigger as well.
Yeah,
you only need the one mirror. You don't need more than one mirror. Is my point. I know what I look like.
I know you're advocating less mirrors in places.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Matthew's already been replaced by the mirror, Matthew, and he's just scared to go back.
Yeah, let me see your belly button. Do you have a belly button?
Yeah, the mirror industry needs to downsize. That's what I'm getting at.
Too many mirrors right now.
There is.
I never thought we would be a big mirror people, but we actually have. There's 1, 2, and then Jessica has a vanity 3, and then we have the big one downstairs, and then we have the miniature one. We have 5 or 6 mirrors. Oh, not including the other bathrooms. If we count the other ones, we have like 8.
But like bathrooms are fine because like your bathrooms are like, you know, its own room. So like having a mirror in a bathroom makes sense. I'm talking in the sense of like how people just have multiple mirrors around their house, like vanity mirrors, or just like how like our parents
like a decoration
have
mirror.
Yeah, like our parents have decoration mirrors, and it's the weirdest thing. I'm like, why?
We just have ours because we don't know how we look from the waist down when we're getting dressed, and when we're getting ready, we're just like, I hope there's nothing wrong with my fucking clothes. And then you go outside and there's like a big ass hole in your ass, and you're just walking around town with my ass cheek hanging out.
Cover it.
I think we only have one, and it's the one in the bathroom. But
that's
for the longest time, that's what we had.
Yeah, and that's probably why I think I look like a Greek god, because I don't see myself a whole lot. This is messing me up.
I just see myself naked eating grapes, and I'm just like, yes, this is where
I don't care how I look when I leave the house.
I don't care how I look when I'm eating grapes.
Yeah, this is quarantine chilling. Everyone gets a pass this year.
Apparently, I can't tell the difference between shades of black. So I was like, these all blacks are all the same, because I was looking for a shirt for the funeral. And she goes, well, that one's not black. It's black blue. And I was like, no, that's black. And then she held up another shirt. She said, this is black. It looked exactly the same, man.
I also think all blacks look the same.
That's weird you're saying that, because I had a pair of pants that I wore to the funeral. But I wore some to the funeral, and they look black. But then I was like really staring at them and focusing more thoughts than I should have on these black pants. And Matthew's like, no, they're just a really dark blue. And I'm just, I don't see it. I mean, if you hold something black next to it, it's black. But without them, I'm just like, it's black.
So far, we are going to have 2 petitions going. Less mirrors.
And all the same black.
And all black. One black.
All black. Just one black.
You like, there's so many colors, it doesn't make sense. And why don't we have a universal color name? That doesn't make sense. Like you can have like royal blue. You'll have royal blue.
Hey, I have pretty boy blue. That tattoo is technically pretty boy blue.
There you go.
That's what I mean. Of like, we just need a like shoe sizes. Why aren't all shoe sizes the same size? Why are like I'm a 11 and a half in a Nike, but an 11 in Adidas?
I'm a 13. That's just because I'm huge.
See, I'm little. I'm a 10 and a half.
But it's like, I mean, so now we have 3 petitions. And let's start a 4th one while we're at it. Why is it that women's sizes go 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and men's are the actual inch inseam?
The what?
Oh,
so you know, like my waist is 36, so it's 36 inches, and then the inseam's 30.
Oh,
but like with women, it's like size 6.
Maybe it's to make them feel better. Same thing with their shoe sizes.
Sorry, that made Ashley laugh.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. What does she say?
Is double digit considered thick?
Yeah, double digits where you are considered a fat girl.
PH or F?
At what point is it not 2 C's and CK?
You're putting too much strain on the extra C, so we had to replace it with the K.
Well, I mean, I'm a 38 now, and
I'd be really
30 something.
I had to buy a
pants. My shirts, though, I'm still in a 2X, and I'll probably be in 2X for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I just as long as when I put my arms up, my tummy doesn't show, I'm fine.
Oh, see, and mine does show. I just don't care.
Yeah, because
If
like
it's there, it's
there's
there.
nothing worse than
Shirts.
like when I'm at the gym and I'm like lifting something over my head or like doing a pull up, and then I go like this and my tummy's just hanging out.
It's because he doesn't have a
I
belly
have that
button,
problem
Tony.
too.
He doesn't
I'm
have.
either
He doesn't have a
buying
belly button.
what?
Matthew doesn't have a belly button. That's why he's worried about it.
Oh, he's just covering. He's just like, fuck. Did
I
anyone
just put a
see?
band-aid over it.
Okay. No, but it's just I have that same problem too. I just assume that I have a really long torso compared to my legs, so I like lift up and it's just like my shirt just and I pull it down. It just or maybe I just buy shitty shirts from H&M. I don't
It
know.
makes it weird because then you don't want too long of a shirt that like you know how girls have the shirts that like do
You have
the
the dress
swoop in the
shirts, like the
front and
long ones
swoop
they
in the
made.
back.
Yeah.
Like you don't want a shirt that makes it look like if you're not wearing shorts that you're just naked underneath. You don't want your
That's
shorts
true.
too long. You don't want your shirt too long or too short is what I'm getting at. And the problem
What
is
I think
you
your
should
shorts are
make
too short.
what Matthew, you should be a big advocate for like the gender neutral clothes and then just wear long t-shirts that are dresses and then tactical leggings underneath. You could just wander around like that.
5 petitions. Let's get rid of
Tactical
all
leggings.
gendered
Now we're at
clothing. Hear me
There
out.
we go. Everyone's going to be wearing gray long dresses and black tactical pants.
And there's only one black.
Yeah, sounds like the old Apple's commercial.
Think black.
There you go.
You know that old Apple commercial, Think Black. But
Just do it.
so before we get to the fun topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about Tony not being able to do the only thing he was supposed to do since the PS5 dropped, and that was secure the bag.
Yes. What's the bag? Because I lost it.
The point is you never had it. Apparently it's hard to get a PS5,
Oh,
especially if you're a
yeah.
stay-at-home dad.
I've tried everything in my power, which is setting alarms and using my thumbs.
That's all
I
power
don't-
right now.
that's
you
that's
should have
everything I can
camped out at
conjure
a
up right now.
GameStop.
No, because GameStop is gross and it smells like an old jock strap.
Well, do you want the PS5 or not? Sometimes you're just gonna have to take one for the team. You'll be Jock Strapney.
Ew. I don't like that name. No. I didn't get it from GameStop for that reason. Yeah, no, every time I'm trying to like I tell you every time we play, but it's like I had it in my cart and I had it and then it just like whoops, it's gone. Oops, it's gone. And it's just like how is this happening? I mean, there has to be some kind of bots at hand because I don't feel like I have the slowest reflexes on the planet. But from when me signing up for the PlayStation Direct, oh, I got the email or I got the text. Swipe up, click the link, sold out. Or the same thing, swipe up, oh, add it to my box, and then right before I hit checkout, sold. So it's like, unless I just have, like I said, really slow reflexes, it's just the bots. They just don't want me to have one.
When do you think that they'll actually the supply will catch up with the demand? Because it's not even like they're selling them at a higher price now than they would a year from now, because they're not going to
Yeah.
get cheaper in price until either the PS5 Pro comes out in 3-4 years, or really until like next Christmas if they have a sale on them. So it's not like they're intentionally creating a bottleneck. It just so happens that pandemic couldn't make as many as they usually make,
Yeah.
and there's just a bottleneck of they have X amount of PS5s that they drop periodically. It'd be something else if also they said, okay, if Walmart were to say every day or every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Time, we drop our PS5s online. And then Best Buy would say,
Yeah.
ours is also Tuesday or Monday at 5 Central Time. It would make more sense if they did it like that, as opposed to like signing up for the email, like email me when this is back in stock.
Yeah, it's just
But you never know what it's going to be. What if it's like in the middle of the night?
yeah, I know. It's just I'm upset. And like I've told you guys, I'm like, I would even jump ship and try a different console, and I can't even do that. Xbox is sold out everywhere. And it's just like, what? Why? And I honestly don't think I'll be able to get a PlayStation until maybe first quarter next year, like
Well,
end of January.
That's what my employee said. He wanted to get one, and he was worried that he wouldn't get one, so he didn't even try to pre-order or anything. He was like, "I'm just gonna wait till like March."
Yeah, and like that's honestly the only time I can. And the PS5 Pro, I can wait for that, I guess, but I'm going to be waiting a long ass time.
Mhm.
I'm just basing that off of when the PS4 Pro came out, and that came out like 3, 4-ish years in the PlayStation life cycle.
I want Xbox Series X so I can put it on top of Eduardo because he kind of looks like Eduardo. So I want him just to put. I
Just
wouldn't
a
use
mini
it because
mini Wardo.
I have
Just call
Eduardo.
it Ed.
Yeah.
That's Uncle Ed.
I want to
And-
just buy the shell.
And
I
Eduardo
wish,
underneath.
as weird as it sounds, I wish they would just sell the shell of consoles because
You probably
I
can.
have Eduardo, and like I don't think if I even get a PS5 or a Series X, I would have it just to have it. I wouldn't play it. That's the problem of I would like just to have the shell of it for decoration, but they don't sell
I
that.
think you can buy the Xbox ones just because they have the dummy units like with cell phones and stuff. So I'm pretty sure you can buy one from like some person on Etsy that has like a 3D printer, or you can
Or just
find,
buy a 3D printer, dude.
or buy
you
a
can
3D
print
printer
this
and sell them to
also.
people. You can make mini ones, and I would buy a mini one from you.
Put a keychain on it. I'll buy
There
one.
you go. Do it.
I'm trying to see. It's just showing me specs for it, so I'm pretty sure you're a
It's
liar.
just saying I like butt stuff. Give me a second.
They
Don't look at this page.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. They have replacement parts, but like I just want, and they have a travel case. Can you imagine buying? I travel a lot, so I'm gonna bring my Series X with me. I need the specially designed case for it. But
Hey, it makes
To be
sense for
honest, I
like
was in
people
that
like
boat for a
truckers and
while.
stuff.
yeah, I mean,
That's true.
what I know is
Like if-
just put it with your regular stuff. You don't need a suitcase for your Xbox Series X.
Hey, if it fits
I didn't have a
nicely,
suitcase.
I would do it. I mean,
Yeah, I had a
look at
backpack.
the Nintendo Switch, perfect little bag for it and everything, man.
Look
like,
at how big that and you're
But
talking
you
about
can
it.
put
You're talking
other
about
things
a
in there,
whole
though.
ass
Is it?
suitcase.
Can't you put like games in
yeah,
there?
I
though?
understand, but it's like 3 times bigger than this freaking thing, right?
It's going to be more than 3 times. The
right.
Xbox.
That's what I'm saying. So if it fits nicely in its own little package, why not? I would do it. Hell yeah.
Because that case is going to be huge. It's going to be
okay.
like a briefcase,
That's
but
fine.
It won't be
thicker.
that big.
Because of course it would. What are you talking about? It's like put the Switch sideways. That's going to be the width of it, and it's like a Switch and a half tall. You can't like squish it. That's not how it works. So it has to be bulky enough that it'll fit inside it, and you can still close the case. So you're talking about a briefcase that's like 2 briefcases stacked together.
Yeah,
Imagine a
but you
double
still can get
stuffed
other things
Oreo.
with it too, though. It's not just like this big box in a box. I mean, with the Xbox backpack that I had a long time ago, it had a place for like 2 controllers, your cord management thing,
Yeah,
and some
strap
games you
everything
can throw
together.
in there.
I
And
actually
you
knew a
can.
guy
It's
that had
just
a thing for his Xbox that was the screen and everything. Like he just
Yeah,
had to
there's those
open
too.
his suitcase and plug it in.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
just
what
like a
this
little.
is. This is just to transport it. What I'm saying is just put it in your bag. And why are you throwing your bag anyway?
Depends where I'm taking it.
It
Yeah,
depends
I'm
what's in
going-
it.
if you know your Series X is in it, you're probably not going to throw it,
If
right?
this is early 2000s and I'm going to grandma's to play Mortal Kombat with my Xbox, I'm just going to throw it in the bag. But if I'm going across the country, I'm going to put it in like the bigger case that was designed for the Xbox thing. So
'Cause
it
I
just
don't
depends
want it
on
to
what you're doing
move.
with it. Yeah.
But what is just do what everybody does. Put jeans around it. You'll be fine.
It just seems like a waste of jeans. I'm
Just
not
put
going to buy
all
a pair
your
of jeans. I'd
socks
rather
and
buy a
underwear
backpack.
Tighten it up.
Go to Kmart, buy a pair of jeans or something.
Those are the Xbox jeans. I just wrap them around my Xbox.
See what you got to do is just get a bunch of sweatpants. Just get a bunch of sweatpants because they're nice and cushy, so it's not
Well,
gonna.
people are going to think I give up on life if I just have like, why do you buy sweatpants so much?
I know. Why are you traveling at this point? If you're just have
Yeah.
sweatpants, that's it.
There's a limit on how many sweatpants you can buy, and you've already exceeded
skip
that
the
limit.
trip.
Before you're a bum at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm surprised at how awfully that both companies have handled this next gen drop, because usually one's one's more like well set up than the other, but both of them seem to have just not been able to keep
Well,
up with demand and just fumbled
I can
from
tell you
how they're
right
going to
now.
sell it.
I can tell you right now, it's hard for a lot of companies that build stuff like that. For example, where I work, our demand is so high right now because like people can't go out and do things, but they want to be on their bikes, and we sell bike parts. So our demand is really high. We cannot staff our facility to do what our demand is. We cannot.
Yeah, there's also that too.
When we are staffed up, like the month of November, dude, I worked probably a whole total of 5 days of November.
Damn.
Because as we're going to talk about the corona and everything like that, and I can't keep employees, man.
What is but
Yeah.
but these guys use sweatshops overseas.
Sweatshops
True,
people still get
but,
sick, man.
Yeah, but
I
they're
mean,
still going to go to work.
factory jobs are the worst place to have a job right now because of the close proximity of everything within everything, and then on top of that, it's just like getting sick and then getting things sick, like the episode of The Simpsons where they coughed in that box in Japan, and then it shipped all the way across, and they ended up in Springfield, and they opened it, and then they got sick. It's just like, like when they make new consoles and the new Xbox or they make new consoles and phones and stuff like that, when they unveil it for the first time, for the most part, they have like the first quarter of things already made and shipped and ready to go. But with this, it's different. Like Marco said, everything got shut down production wise. So it's like, okay, well, we can only be at 1/3 capacity of people actually working there. There are machines that do build this kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like you need people running the machines, and like the QA is most importantly, because you don't want to sell a product that's like $500 to people that is just, sorry, it's a piece of shit because we didn't have enough QA people available, and then they have to worry about the returns from all that and then sending them back out, whether they're fixed or just everything else with it.
I want Matthew to get that unQC'd one, and he just gets a dummy one anyway because nobody put the insides in.
Then I get my shell. I get my overpriced shell. But yeah, let's
Ashley did send us this thing. Wait, Ashley sent us this thing on Etsy. This person, $20 for a miniature Xbox One X,
so cute.
and
He's so
another one
cute and
for the PlayStation 5. I mean,
Dude, she showed me one for the first Xbox. It was tight.
yeah. So it was just like,
The
it'd be
thing's so
cool.
adorable. Maybe I'll get something like that because that's actually really cool. But
it's
yes, speaking of the Rona, the main reason we wanted to have our cousin on is because he actually got it. Turns out that he kissed an Asian or something, and it was weird. They tongued. That's how you get it.
Don't say that.
They
I got
tongue
it from an employee of mine.
That's even
And I
worse.
wasn't kissing
He
employees,
tongued
man.
the
I was
employee, the human centipede.
Okay, start from the beginning. So did your work offer some kind of mask mandate when you guys were working, or was it
So the
enforced
mask
but really
mandate,
laxed?
well, because we are not a company that directly with customers at all. We don't have customer service in and out of our building. We're all phones and everything like that is the only customer service we have. So no, we didn't have to wear masks. If they chose to wear masks, it was encouraged. But until Utah did the mandate for the mask, we weren't full-time mask. No.
Gotcha. Did a lot of people at your work wear masks?
They
Like
did
when they
until they saw
encouraged
everybody
it?
else. Well, I mean, we do encourage it. We were telling them it was encouraged. I didn't wear a mask, so a lot of people. There was some people that were in masks, but they gave up on it really quick because everybody around them wasn't wearing a mask. So
That's true. It's the odd one out.
Yeah, my work, luckily we don't deal a lot. Like the only time I'm around people is when we're going through our security line and when I'm like first getting in my truck because there's still people like putting boxes on the shelves of the trucks. But other than that, I just
with other coworkers,
yeah.
because don't you see people when you drop them off?
No, because all we do is ring the doorbell and I run away.
Full
Thanks
sprint.
for the fruit snacks.
Yeah, and like when you're dealing like pulling up to a dock or something, you're not 6 feet or you're more than 6 feet from the whoever's at the dock. And since Utah does have that statewide mask mandate, we wear a mask when we're at a business, and then everyone in the business is wearing a mask. But
Right.
like if you think about it, the dock, like they're not going to be like stepping in your truck with you, because that would
Right.
be really weird.
I did when I worked at a place with a dock. I would jump in my or jump in Matt's trailer, not you, Matt, other Matt, and I would jump in his trailer and talk shit with him all the time.
Yeah, but that's weird. If somebody jumped in my truck, I'd be like, "Can you please not?"
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
because that other Matt had people skills, and Matthew over here is probably.
He
No,
did. He
man.
was a very nice person.
If I had people
honest
skills,
enough.
I wouldn't be working. I wouldn't be delivering packages.
Yeah, my work was the same way when this whole thing started. They're like, we recommend you wear a mask. We're not going to supply any, and that is all.
Oh, we
And
did.
I got what?
We supplied a mask.
FedEx did not supply a mask until I think a month and a half before I quit, and they got these masks that they were too small. They were like kid-sized masks, and they were made from like little kid fabric, like little kid undie fabric, so it felt weird on your face, and it didn't fit. So I didn't use that one at that point. I was just wearing masks like religiously at my work, and I was literally the only one that would wear masks with my glasses on, and it was weird. There was times where I'm like, maybe I should take this off and stop being a big nerd about all of this, because everyone's just staring at me. And my boss would wear it for a little bit, and he's like, "Nah, man, I took it off. It hurt my nose, made my glasses fog up." So it was just like,
well, one thing that was happening was because we have an upstairs floor where all the engineers are, and like the sales team, the marketing team, the CEO, and everything, right? Those guys all day without a mask, and then when they would come downstairs to the production floor, they'd put a mask on.
are they?
So it started just being like super offensive. Like,
That's true.
you guys
It's
think
just
we're
like,
dirty.
yeah, I'm like, we're not that dirty, you dumb bitch. I live right next to you. Do they separate like where they're at? Like, is there the 6 feet apart and everything upstairs?
Well, yeah, because they're all their little cubicles are set apart.
Oh, yeah,
We
that's
were
true.
told to try to separate people 6 feet, but our workspace is honestly not that
Yeah,
big.
the factories
And the
aren't that
demand-
big.
And them throwing extra people at us, there was no 6 feet, man.
Yeah, that's how my work was. They're like, you need to be 6 feet apart and wear a mask, but we're not going to enforce it. And the managers never wore it. So I think that's what made it worse. Is like, if the managers aren't doing it and enforcing it, then why should I be doing it? But with the extra people inside the warehouses like mine and Matt's, it's like you have a side that you're supposed to be at, but you're constantly moving around to different sides of the warehouse, whether it's unload, loading, or different trailers with other people. And that one night, if you're like a package handler in a trailer, you can be talking to like 8 to 12 people a shift. And those people don't wear masks. They're just like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to, but at the same time, it's just like, that was when they were like, it messes with my breathing. I can't breathe with it on. Or it's just like, it falls off.
It's for sure not comfortable. It really honestly doesn't bother me to wear a mask. I just figured I'm not a person that stands there and talks to somebody.
Yeah.
And the information we were being given from our HR is it's only if you were within 6 feet for 10 minutes or more.
Yeah.
And I was 15, I guess. But
yeah,
you're not standing next to somebody at launch. Like, you're passing across each other quite a bit and like kind of in each other's way. But when you're standing there like doing the QC of a rim, you're not within 6 feet of somebody.
Okay.
The problem I had was, yes, I do have to have one-on-one conversations with people, and those people I do have like 15 minutes within 6 feet, and that person has happened to be the one that I was next to. She decided to tell me the next day that she wasn't feeling good. I had to send her home, because if they even say they have any kind of corona specific
like symptoms,
I have to send them home. I send them to HR and they clock out and they leave.
Damn.
And they get the information. Who were you in contact with for how long, how long specifically, and everything like that. And yeah, that's what happened. She called me the next day. She told me she tested positive. I had to go in HR and let them know. And she was still on the phone with me, and they asked her a bunch of questions because I was translating. And then she said I was too, and I was like, okay, cool, we're done here. And she's like, nah, you have to leave. Get the hell out of the building. Oh
Shit.
Yeah, that's like
But-
my biggest fear is somebody's gonna be like, oh yeah, so you know how we hung out for like an hour? I tested positive today.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sick, dude. Yeah. So like with your whole things, what was the first thing you noticed? Was it like a gradual symptom? Like one
Well,
day you were just like, then you're sick, or was it like the next day you felt like you got hit by a freight train?
so I got I was very happy at first because I was like, I get 2 weeks off, paid. Hell
Yeah, the
yeah.
way like all the memes are.
I literally got home. I felt just fine that night. In the morning, I was like just kind of feeling it bad. I started drinking an orange soda and it was just kind of weird tasting, right? Because I thought it was just because I got like a packet of like Shasta orange soda.
You guys is like a shitty shipment or something.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like a bad batch.
It's a legit
you know?
thing. Yeah.
And then the next one I drank, it got worse. Like it started tasting like club soda.
Damn.
And you're just like, oh no. It was very not noticeable at first. Like other things that I was putting in my mouth didn't have it. It was soda that was just gone first. But
And then like what happened after, like what made you, before you actually got tested and everything, before you just like, I mean, you're saying it's like all these mundane things that like, how many times do you drink something and it's to the point now where you drink something, you know it, you know how it tastes. And then like you said, it's like, it tastes a little funky. It must just be the bad can. And then like what else happened before you're like, shit, I think I'm sick. And these symptoms are awfully close to the ones they're talking about.
like I didn't really notice the soda. I was just like, yeah, shitty batch, right? It was I ended up feeling like I was really cold. And Ashley felt my head and she goes, well, you might be warm, but you just feel like clammy. And so we ended up getting a thermometer thing. We have one of the little ones you put in your mouth, but that one was only saying just like a little warm.
You know, those aren't as accurate as the other way.
Coming from the man who likes butt stuff.
Matt likes butt stuff. No,
I'll test it for you.
It wasn't until Ashley started feeling a little under the weather and we started both having fevers. But it wasn't like the worst. It was just like super uncomfortable. You get really, really like cold because your body was getting warm, and then you would just be sweaty, like it was just fucking hot, and you weren't cold anymore. You were just like sweaty.
Yeah.
And it would go on and off real fast. After that, it was like body aches, just being sore, and just being. It was more uncomfortable than anything. Like we weren't dying or anything. I understand that people are having it a lot worse and stuff like that, but mine, honestly, it really wasn't that bad. It just felt like a cold.
How long were you like sick for?
With like fever and just aches, about 2 to 3 days, and then the lung thing was the last of it, and that was another 2 days.
So from when you first drank an orange Fanta till you realized, oh snap, I might have the Rona, how much time passed?
No, like no shit, dude. I drank the soda and I just thought it was weird. It didn't affect really anything else.
Yeah, no, it's just like,
I didn't say, hey, that's Rona. It was more when we started getting fevers, and then Ashley started getting sick too. And then we noticed that you really couldn't smell or taste anything.
Was it like what was that? What was that feeling when you were like, wait a minute, and then you started to sniff it? What else did you sniff to prove to yourself?
What was your aha moment where you're just like,
like hand soap? We bought a bunch from Bath and Body Works. My favorite one's the Cherry Merlot. It smells like black cherry Jello. It's my favorite. I washed my hands and I was like,
black cherry Jello.
It's the bomb, is what it is.
I know what it smells like.
Yeah, it
Do I
makes
have
your
the
mouth
Rona?
water. Yeah, but you couldn't smell that on the hand soap anymore, and Ashley was saying that because we were sweating a lot and stuff like that, so people brought us like Pedialyte and Gatorade, and we were making Walmart orders, and we got a pack of Gatorade, and she drank one. She goes, "That tastes like salt water," and it was like orange or grape, and she was like, "It just tastes like salt water."
Interesting.
And that's like when she started getting symptoms of like fever and stuff. That's when I was like, "Oh well, we probably have it." We only got tested because nobody else was in the house, but her mom lied to us and told us that Teague needed us to get tested to go back to school. He wasn't in contact with us at all, but because he lives in this household, and it happened to be a lie because they called Ashley and told her that like they hadn't seen him for 2 weeks. They were wondering if everything was okay because they haven't heard anything. So and Ashley needed it to get leave from work, so she got the time paid off. She needed a positive test.
Yeah.
But it was a fever's like 2 days, and then like you were just muscle sore. Like it felt like I went to the gym and got no stronger, just sore.
How high were your fevers, I guess? Do you normally run like
the highest
hot
one? Ashley had one of 102. Mine was 101. We did start getting the lung like shortness of breath, and that just felt like a little bit of asthma. Like we would get up and walk to the sink and you're just like winded.
Yeah.
It was with the body soreness and everything, you just felt like you were super out of shape.
Did you ever like feel what's the way to phrase this? Did you ever feel like, oh shit, because like I imagine that if I were to get out of breath from doing something that simple, I would like be just a nervous wreck. I'd be like, oh god, here, this is my time. It's my time to go.
No, it was because you're not leaving. Like you can't leave the house. I was in quarantine. I could not leave the house. It was just like, okay, I'm not gonna walk to the sink anymore. I'm just gonna drag this pack of water to the couch. You just don't want to move, and when you do move, you get winded. If you have any kind of cough, it takes all your air away, and you're just like, you just feel like you can't breathe very much. But we have an O2 sensor that her friend let us borrow, like the one you stick on your finger. And if you drop below 80, you're supposed to go to the hospital. It's usually 90, and we were staying between like 88 and 90 something, so we were fine. And then Ashley, I tried to take a nap, and Ashley put the thing on my finger when I was trying to sleep, and she said I was dying. She almost took me to the hospital.
You stopped breathing.
That's normal.
Yeah, I've done that drinking.
I do that all the time. Just roll me on my side and call me good. Yeah,
and
that's
so she was really worried about me at that point because I was just coughing a lot in the living room, and it made my head hurt. And I was like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. And then she followed me in here, and she was just awake and worried about me. And because I was asleep and not be able to calm her down, she was just like, she called my mom. My dad called me in the morning to see if I was alive. My sisters are texting me, seeing if I'm alive. Like overnight, she told my family I was dead. So
damn.
That's
each text it's progressively worse.
Yeah, and like at first she goes, well, it was dropping and it was like 84, and then she talks to her mom and she's like, it's 83, and then she talks to somebody else and it's like 82. He was dead.
It turns from like the laughing emoji to like the straight face emoji to the sweating emoji to like the X eye emoji to like the little skull Morthos one. And you're just like,
that's she gets mad when I tell a story because she doesn't see it the way I see it.
So do you guys do you feel like it's all overblown, or do you think that let me ask it like this, because there are people that have died. 280,000 is not a small number, especially when you look at Italy, it's even higher. Do you think that the way we're going about it is the best way to do it, considering this virus only kills 0.5 of people who experience symptoms, and more or less than half of that of people who are asymptomatic? So if you're asymptomatic, it's like 0.02
Yeah.
of a
And
mortality rate.
I know people that one of my coworkers, he got it, and all he got was the taste thing.
Yeah.
And it's back now, and he was out for a couple of days. Tisha, her and Danny ended up with it because Danny came home with it, and his just came on really fast. He got home from driving on the road, and he got like showered and dressed, and they were going out to go get something to eat because she doesn't see him very often. And it was Tisha's birthday, and it was the day before Tisha's birthday, and he was driving around with her, and he was like, he had to pull over because he just felt really weak and feverish, and he went like right then and got a test, and he was positive, but it hit him like a fucking brick.
Damn.
On the road.
Are you at 100%? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
And Tisha, I mean, they quarantined upstairs. Nobody else in the house got it except for Tisha because they sleep in the same room. Gross.
Nice.
But Tisha ended up getting it too, and hers wasn't that bad, but her taste, and this was 4 weeks ago, and she still can't taste and smell. We made dinner yesterday, and she was like, she's like, this turkey might be delicious. I don't know, I can't taste it.
Tell me if the pistole tastes like the way it's supposed to.
Oh, I was gonna take her out to lunch for her birthday, and that's the day I got sent home when I was gonna take her to lunch. And I told her I can't leave. I can't take you to lunch or whatever. And then I told her that I was gonna take her to lunch sometime this week, and she's like, well, you gotta wait till I can taste again because I don't want to go somewhere fancy.
Yeah, I don't want like snickle frit shit. So are you and Ashley at 100%?
I for sure am. She's got this cough. I don't know if it's related or not because she was feeling fine, but she ended up with this cough now, but her lungs are fine and everything like that. And we have zero symptoms whatsoever in this house. And as of thinking it's overblown, I can't tell you if it's overblown and everything because I know people are getting it worse than we did. We got off super easy. I'm not going to work and telling them it's like, it's the easiest thing ever because if one of those old lady gets it, like she'll probably, like, I don't want them to feel safe and not want to wear their masks.
That's true.
Even after I came back, people look at you like you're a leper, and like, yeah, Ashley's dad won't even come near us. With everything that happened to my dad, he wanted to donate money and stuff, and he came out of the house and basically just like threw an envelope in my car and said, sorry for your loss, and then ran back inside with his mask.
Yeah, that's where it just is like.
Yeah, and her uncle, we went to do something at her dad's shop, and her uncle like stayed 100 feet away from us
and gave us a cross with his fingers
and like treated me like Dracula and gave us the finger cross and hissed at us. And
yeah, that's just like one of those. I feel bad. I did that before when I had my whole medical thing at the beginning of the year. That's where I was before. I was asking you what your symptoms were because that's what my symptoms felt like. Like the biggest thing that I had was I couldn't catch my breath. Little mundane things that I would normally do like without a problem just wiped me out for 40-ish minutes. And every time I would go places and tell them my problems, they would kind of just be like, oh, it's fine. You're fine. Maybe you're just out of shape. And I'm like, dude, I'm running. I'm like, I'm doing a 7:30 mile. It's not the best mile time on the planet, but it's pretty quick. And I can't even walk up the stairs anymore without it kicking my ass. And I'm like, I would have night sweats. I thought I was having like hot flashes and shit.
I saw that.
I had to sleep downstairs because I was just aching all the time. And it was like for 3 weeks or whatever it was. And it was just, and I had this crazy headache for like literally 2 weeks. I was concerned that it was something like serious because what?
Well, Ashley had big headaches. I had like a headache just from coughing at the end there.
Oh,
But her headaches were coming from because you can't taste soda and it really, really tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And so she stopped having caffeine, and I think that affected her quite a bit for her headaches. But a headache wasn't really a problem. Like it felt like just a cold.
oh, I
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's
Ashley
like,
said she had really bad migraines and
yeah.
everything like that.
I mean, I don't normally get headaches, and when I do, it's because of eye fatigue, whether it's my glasses or wearing contacts for a long time. But Jessica gets them all the time, where she has to wear like these, or she has to take this special like headache migraine medicine that releases or that opens or constricts the blood vessels of the back of your head. It gives you like this weird flighty kind
Gives
of
you a
like your
lady
high
boner.
experience. And I was like laying in bed dying of like a crazy headache, and I was sweating, and she gave me one of her little pills, and I just like, oh God, please work. And nothing happened. And I took two of them, and my headache kind of went from like stabbing pain to just like,
Dull.
yeah, you have a headache. It's there. And it would just come right back. And it just really sucked. That's why I was just
Do you
like
have
asking you if you can.
antibodies?
Yes, we will actually test positive for 3 months. They
Are
said.
Oh
you,
shit.
are you still contagious even if you have
No.
antibodies? Do you
So
have to take the vaccine?
I think
Me.
I don't think I have to. I don't.
Well, not
I'm
have
gonna
to,
get it
but
for
I
free.
mean like is it advised for you to take the vaccine?
No, not that I'm aware of. I know that they said that like on the website and everything, and to my work stuff, as long as I haven't had symptoms in 2 days before returning to work, which I didn't, because I stopped having symptoms like Friday, and I didn't go back to work till Tuesday. And as long as you're not having symptoms for 2 days that you don't, or you're not contagious, or if you had the symptom for longer than 2 weeks, it was not contagious. So like Tisha with her smelling thing, she's not considered contagious because hers was over 3 weeks, or we're about 3 weeks
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And yeah, they didn't tell me anything about the vaccine or anything, if I have to take it or anything like that. I know that I had another employee that said they were within 6 feet of me and had to go home for it, but they didn't send me home because I just barely got back for it, and technically I still have the antibodies, so they didn't even have to send me home.
Oh, good news.
Damn. Yeah, did they I don't know if you said, did they say how long this thing lasts? Because I heard people saying it's like you have it for 3 months and then you can get sick again with 3 months. But there's also people that are like different strains. You can get it from different. If you get a different strain, it's not the same one you got. So you technically get re
Well,
COVID,
it's like, yeah, I think it's like the
or is it
flu.
like what?
I think it's like the flu, like that it can change and be different.
Okay,
I
yeah,
do
because I
know
was just
that they said we would have the antibodies and test positive for 3 months, and that shit, I lost my train of thought there.
You have the less likely chance of catching.
Oh, that if we have a less chance of catching it now, and if we do catch it though, it's supposedly supposed to be worse the second time because your body is weaker, your immune system is weaker.
for how like permanently or for like your
Permanently. Like it put a dent in my immune system.
shit.
It's definitely very interesting to hear like the wide range of people that have had like no symptoms to few symptoms to major symptoms, like people have almost died from it, and hearing the like the lasting effects of I mean the odds of you getting reinfected are pretty astronomical, but like, there's still odds. I think there's only been one confirmed case of somebody who's been infected and reinfected, and
With like the same COVID, or because they were talking about like the
COVID, but
different.
they have different strains. They're
Yeah, it was just like the
right now
different
from what they
strains.
know, there's a Chinese strain and then a European strain. So
And there's the mink strain too. So all the
apparently
minks are
there's
dying everywhere.
apparently there's three. I mean there could be Lord knows how many, because the one thing they say about this virus is it mutates very quickly. So if if an American gets it here, then they're still contagious and they go over to India and India has its own strain, then the way they're saying is it's very easy to mutate. But with how
We'll have an American Indian one. Shit.
I know
You
that'd
have
be
American. Yeah, is there a way you can test? Well, is there like a serious way you can test between what strain you've had before?
I don't believe so.
I think they actually are
I mean, there might be under
like
the microscope, but like
for plasma, where people sell their plasma and stuff, that they're actually asking for people that have immune diseases and stuff to donate plasma if they've had corona. So like myself, they would be asking, because I have diabetes and got corona, that they want my plasma to help find a more solid cure or whatever.
do you
But
get
that
paid
was
for
told
it?
to me by you get paid for plasma either way.
Well, I want paid more.
Can you
'Cause
strong arm
your
them for more
your
money?
plasma is worth more now than it was
Hey man,
before.
my plasma is really dented and shitty. I don't know if I can get more.
Well, just take it right now before they don't want it
Like we
for the more
discussed with
expensive
next gen consoles, it's all about supply and demand.
price. That's true.
Yeah, and do you know how much they sell a bag of blood for?
$30.
Nah,
It depends on the
is
type.
like $3,000 a bag. I told my employee.
How many bags of blood do I have in me?
Well, one of my employees is having one of her cousins or something found out they had cancer, and they're trying to get like blood transfusions and stuff, and they're trying to they have to pay for the bags of blood. And I was like, I'll just give you a bag of blood right now. How much are you buying them for? She told me like 3,000. I was like, man, I'll give you a discount, like $900. Like
$300.
PS5. I'll put it in a garbage bag right now.
PS5. Let's go. Do you know what kind of blood type you have? Strange question, but I feel like more people should know this, and it should be more widely known than what it is.
Ashley's AB positive. I believe I am AB as well. I don't know. I'm not sure. Honestly.
I was just because I'm reading all these articles, just like because everything is COVID now, and they're just saying certain blood types are more immune or like more susceptible of having worse symptoms or like a higher fatality rate.
My blood type is
and it was just
more immune to it because I'm the O negative.
Yeah, nice. I'm either O negative or O positive.
I can donate to anybody.
Negative, but Jessica says O positive. But AB is supposed to be one of the worser ones to have because of the way your blood is for COVID. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Well, what Ashley's doctor did tell us, which is actually really scary, they actually tried to talk her into getting her flu shot. She did get the flu shot, but they told her that she should get the flu shot, even if you never get the flu shot, because I never do, because you can actually have COVID and the flu at the same time, and it hurts.
That's what they're saying is so dangerous about this winter, is because it's coinciding with the flu, so you can get both of them because they're two different strains of one's that, I mean, they're both a type of coronavirus, but this is a totally different strain, so you could absolutely get both at the same time. I mean, I would be afraid of I would get the flu shot and then weaken because anytime you get the flu shot, it weakens your immune system because it's actively working. I'd be afraid that I'm going to get the flu shot and then get corona.
I know we were talking about that last week.
So that's another thing that's having problems with companies as well, is because like they're trying not to fire their whole staff for missing work, but you're telling them not to come in for flu-like symptoms, because that's what corona is a flu-like symptom, a fucking like headache. The tasting is a major thing that's different, but if somebody's not feeling good, has a headache, starts getting a fever, that could be a flu, but I have to send that person home. Like I can't have them there.
Well, imagine like the last time you had a stopped up nose. I mean, you can't taste anything either.
Yeah, like
so it's like
you have those same symptoms. So.
Yeah, like it's literally like unless you can breathe through your nose fine, and then you finally realize, hey, I can't taste anything. Because how often do you like if you drink something, you're gonna assume that it tastes fine until you realize, oh, this doesn't taste right.
Yeah, because if I know what that Pepsi's supposed to taste like, that's what my brain is tasting.
Yeah. Like if you have green colored vanilla ice cream, it'll taste minty.
Shamrock shake.
That's not real.
That is real.
Oh shit.
That's not real.
I can't have vanilla ice cream, so
it's like if you have sugar-free vanilla ice cream that's colored green, it'll be minty.
That's
your
what's
brain
up.
will
I'm
think
gonna
it's
find
minty.
that.
So, how serious did you think this was before you got sick?
I honestly thought it
just-
was bullshit. I can tell you right now, I didn't care. I was not worried about it. We were staying home because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, because
Like I don't go to the
everything is shut
bars
down.
already.
yeah,
I don't go to the bars already. A lot of my friends were freaking out about it, and if they're not freaking out about it, their wives are freaking out about it. So, like John himself, I don't get to see him a whole lot because Regine is freaking out about it.
that's
So,
fair.
like he came over to the house and she was very upset because she had some date in her head that we were supposed to still be
my test date, not her symptoms.
well that we were supposed to still have like symptoms and be contagious, so she was telling John not to go over to our house with everything that was happening because John's taking it hard too. But he came over to the house and she went to her mom's house because she was like, you have it now, it's all over you.
Damn,
so-
you bitch, you
Smell
got
it
us.
on you.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, yeah. Last time I saw anybody was you guys like last Saturday, but before that, the last time I actually went somewhere was Matthew's birthday when I took him out to lunch, and that was like June.
You didn't touch him, right?
I
He
can
looks dirty.
literally tell you it was June 2nd.
Yeah, I can literally guarantee it was June
You
2nd
know the day.
between the hours of 12 and 3 p.m. is when we went.
No.
But it was just like, yeah, I can't go anywhere because everything is like telling us stay away. And I mean, I don't like being sick to begin with. And when I do get sick, it's like I get sick for a long time. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this whole thing. So I don't want to get sick if I don't have to.
Well,
It does
on
suck
top
that
of
I have-
that,
What?
on top of that, I don't get sick in general. Like, yes, I got my diabetes, but that was
Yeah.
a lot of my diet. And my dad had it, and my grandma has it. But like, I don't get a cold very often. I don't get the flu at all. I don't take the flu shot. I just don't get sick very often.
Yeah.
So I was really like, yeah, I'm either gonna get it and I not feel it, or get it or not get it. Like,
Yeah,
I was
that's just
not
like-
worried about it.
Yeah, I don't like you said, I don't really get sick too often. It's usually about this time where it's like a constant like flu-ish symptoms from like November all the way to like February. And I don't know if it's just like getting constantly cold from like whatever Sydney gets from school every few weeks. She brings home a new plague, or if it's just like a shitty immune system, or if it's a combination of that and that plus like the shitty inversion where I live. It's like really smoggy a lot. So I'm like, I don't know if it's a combination of all of these or just one, but either way, it's like I'd rather not. I don't want to get sick. So if I can volunteer to not get sick, I will just listen to you guys.
Yeah. What I was worried about in my house, because I ain't got kids that bring home your plagues, but Ashley, the first thing she said is the dogs can get it, and I was so worried my dogs were going to get corona. It made me
Oh, I
sad.
didn't know dogs can get it. I thought they were the ones that were excluded.
Nope. She said that the dogs can get it. I was like trying not
No,
to
I
breathe on
believe
my
you.
dog. I was trying to
Just
stay
like
6 feet
last
away
time,
from
I was
them.
like,
We took their temperature.
you guys should make masks.
Ashley
for
took their
dogs.
temperature. I'm not going to put a mask on my dog
Why?
because his neck's all weird. His things don't really stay on him. He's got a
I was just
fat
trying to
neck,
figure out how that would even work. The only thing I could think of is a muzzle, but that has holes all over it.
and he's just a big old fat cow. Look at that guy.
Damn, that's
He
thick.
didn't even move. He didn't even care.
How does the family feel about it before and after, since you have more contact? I was
So
paranoid from the beginning when this whole thing started, when they said to like go home and don't go anywhere, and I was just like, okay, because last time we had a pandemic was the Spanish flu, and it killed a shit ton of people.
yeah, so when I wasn't worried about it because I knew I wasn't contagious anymore from when I had symptoms and everything. I think Tisha was a little worried about it because she was still like not tasting or anything. And we couldn't help it. People were literally just coming over. I was scared for grandma and grandpa, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they got anything. You guys all came over in masks. What I did tell my sisters and everything is not to make people feel weird for being in a mask. Like, because I don't know, Marty might say some shit that why you have a mask on your face. But
Yeah.
like, and that's what I was telling people that I knew was going to come over. Like, if you feel like you need to wear a mask, wear a mask. But I don't think any of us were contagious. And even in Tisha's house, when they were in quarantine, her and Danny stayed upstairs. Like I said, the kids didn't get it. She never actually went and got tested for a positive test. She just got symptoms, so she stayed in her room with Danny. So
Yeah, that's all you
like
can
my
do.
dad, I don't believe he had it. They haven't said it in anything of,
No, he didn't.
and he didn't have it. And
No, I
even
don't
when
think
he
they-
was, well,
Oh.
even when he was like going in and out of the house, he would put a mask on if he went upstairs to go
Yeah.
through the house to leave. So, my mom just stayed downstairs anyway because that's where she works and everything. So, we weren't really worried about it as a family. Just there, people were worried about it coming in and out. But after a couple of days of coming in and out, they were like, nobody really had symptoms. My cousin Alex, I don't know if you ever met him, little Alex.
No.
He came over that first day because his dad went the day that everything happened. So he was there that day, and he went to work after, and then ended up having to quarantine because somebody near him got it, and they just didn't come back. But they both got tested, and they were both negative, so they were able to go to the funeral.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
yeah. It's
but everybody was being pretty safe about it. Like, apparently it was one of the biggest funerals that a lot of people have seen.
Huge.
And I haven't heard of anybody getting sick or
as long
even
as I mean,
showing symptoms.
the nice thing about having like everything needs to be outdoors is because in direct sunlight, the chances of you getting it if you're over 6 feet with wearing a mask is you might want to play the lottery if you get it and under those conditions, because that is
Right.
absolutely next to impossible. So I honestly don't think that anyone would, especially if everyone that's had it, like you and Tish, like they're already like you're not contagious, so it's by that like that no one should get it from that. But at least you don't have to worry, because with the way this new vaccine's going, this type of vaccine has actually never been done before. That's why when they pushed it through, it's not that they pushed it through and like cut like corners per se. They just were able to speed it up by pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into it. So rather than having to constantly raise money, they just did it like that. But the way that this vaccine works, and I'm actually I'm kind of wanting to see what the long-term effects are, and I'm fine not getting this vaccine, because the way it does it is they take the mRNA strand from COVID and they inject that into you, whereas like a flu shot, they just kill part of the virus and they put that dead part of the virus inside your body. But with this, where they're essentially rewriting code in your body, which sounds awesome, but we've never done it before. So that makes me very standoffish to it, to think, okay, we've never done this before. It works because they've in the tests, the two from Pfizer and whatever the other company was, they both have, I think Pfizer's 95% so far. It might drop to 93 or 90, but the way they have to transport it is like negative 90 degrees or something crazy cold. So they're actually not sure how they're going to transport it, because like place like where you keep a flu shot, a Walgreens can handle that. But there's very few places that like they couldn't ship it through UPS or FedEx because they just don't have trucks that get that cold. And the other issue is you have to take 2 doses. So I think they have like 20 million doses. so they can only vaccinate 10 million people
Well,
because if
the
everyone
2
needs to get
doses
2.
the 2 doses is over 3 months though, like one and then 3 months later another.
That's the other problem is you're not fully vaccinated until you get both. Like the reason it's so high is if you get, I mean, you'll still be more resistant to the disease if you get one than if you get none, but you won't be 95% until, because yeah, it needs to be over that period of time, which kind of makes it a problem considering like the when you think about like, oh yeah, so however many doses you make, all of a sudden you need to cut that in half to how many people is actually going to treat.
Right. Uh
I have something. Marco, how reliable or how do you feel about the whole vaccine since Matthew's a little iffy about it?
uh I don't think I'm going to take it, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, how come?
But then again, I'm not a person that takes flu shots, and people believe in that, and I just don't take them.
What does Ashley think?
What do you think about the vaccine?
I will gladly take a vaccine. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I was gonna say how come, but she literally just answered that within it.
Right.
I'm
And
on...
so, like, she can be my guinea pig. If she takes it and she's okay, maybe I'll take it.
That's fair. Jessica and me are in the same boat. Well, we're on that opposite. We're on the same boat like you and Ashley. Jessica and me both get the flu shot every year just because we get the flu shot, and because like Sydney, when she goes to school, she has to get like her mandatory shots to be able to go to school and stuff like that. But while we're there, we're like, would you like to get a flu shot with this since you're already here? And half the time it's like, you know what? If I get the flu shot, Sydney's more inclined to get it because she can see me getting the flu shot. And like, okay, well, if he can do it, doesn't cry, then I guess I can do it.
I mean,
but
do you get it because you get like a bulk deal, or like
I'm
you get 3
assuming
for
our
1?
insurance hates it because they get billed a shit ton of money. I don't have to. We're on the insurance plan where we don't have to pay anything for a flu shot every year. But this whole what I don't know how to say this. In one hand, I am like extremely fascinated by this whole like literally one thing brought the world to its knees, and it's from like this
made it
disease that
eat its hog.
came from China, and then it's just like the imagining just like this person getting sick in this wet daily area that they work in, and then just passing it around, and then it literally going around the planet. And you, Marco, and Ashley got sick by some guy in China that originated from it. It's just like it's like that game Plague or Pandemic, but it's just
I
like
have that game.
I have it too,
It's
and it's
awesome.
just like it's crazy how something like that game is just spiraled out, and that's literally what our life is right now. But at the same time, Project Warp Speed is like the coolest thing that has ever happened in our lifetime, because I think they said the last time that they had a disease that they couldn't have a thing like a reliable vaccine for, it took like 4 or 5 years before that vaccine actually happened. And COVID has been happening for it was like just over the year marker, and like 8 months in or whatever it is, we have from no vaccine to like 2 or 3 vaccines that are like guaranteed to work. They just need to pass like the final FDA approval before they can be shipped out and like giving shots into people within like the next 1 to 2 weeks. So it's just like, but the whole thing is like Jessica is kind of on the fence about it, like not wanting to get it because of the long term thing. And I'm just like, I want the vaccine because I just want things to go back to the way they were. I'm not too concerned about like the long term, like weird long term effects. Like my eyes are gonna fall out like 2, 3 years later, or some weird shit like that. But it's
Well,
I don't really know. I'm trying to go with it. It's just
I
like I'm for it.
I
Jessica
honestly
isn't.
don't. That's one thing I don't believe, though, is that things are going to go back to normal. I think the whole world's going to be different.
Like how?
Like, I think more people will feel more to wear masks. I don't think it'll be mandatory anymore, but I believe people will still wear their masks.
Well, the
I don't know if
U.S.
movies will be a thing anymore, honestly, just out of the change of
They were
what
dying
happened.
before.
They
They
were
were,
dying
yeah,
before, but
exactly.
there
They
was
were
still a
already falling
large.
apart.
Yeah, there was still a large following, and what's it called? Warner Brothers just released over the weekend that they were doing all 21 movies that are going to be in theaters are coming to HBO Max.
Mm.
So already the tides have already shifted,
Yeah,
and movie theaters are
24th
dying out.
the 24th of December, Wonder Woman comes out in theaters and on HBO Max.
Yeah, so it's just
Theaters
like
gonna die, bro.
yeah, it's just
I'm still not gonna watch it.
I
So-
mean,
I'm gonna watch the hell out of that movie.
I'm
Gal
gonna
Gadot's
watch that
hot.
one and that new one, that one from Disney and Pixar, Soul, is coming out, and the girls want to
Mm.
watch that. But back to what you were saying about the whole world, I don't think it's going to be changing too much from what it was before, besides people wearing more masks. But I think Matthew may talk about on the podcast where a lot of like Asian countries wear masks just out of like politeness, just
Right.
because they're just cleanly kind of people. And the US is just, no country is prepared for this, but at the same time, the US has very strict but very lax rules on things. Like, we're really strict with like how things are supposed to be cleaned and stuff like that, but they have very little follow through of like how many times do you like go to different places where they don't wash their hands, like in restaurants and stuff. And it's usually the more sketchier the kind of places, the more likely they're not going to like be up to code with certain things.
But the more likely they're gonna taste good.
That's true. So you have that thing like that, but it's just like, also how many just like, I don't know, there's lots of hand movement, hand touching thing that goes on in day-to-day life, and the world revolves around like these hand movements, like touching rails, touching currency, touching just like handshakes, swapping phone, like giving your phone to someone else. And it's just like, I don't think that's really going to change too much, just like besides the whole more things being sanitized at a fairly regular basis, because like in Disneyland and like Lagoon, the only time I think people really clean things is when people vomit on shit, or like at the end of the day they like spray some Lysol and then like just call it good. But now it's just like every ride at Lagoon or Disneyland, it's like, okay, complete sterilization, next group.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there's already here in Ogden, dude. Like you can just go down Washington, and there's a bunch of places that closed. A lot of small businesses
Yeah.
closed. That's going to be a big change. I think pickup groceries and like delivery and stuff like that is changing the world already. Like
Yeah.
work from home, people are, I don't know, there's people that are less productive at home, and that might affect some companies and stuff like that. But it's easier than having a facility. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Well-
the IRS, because they sent so many people to work from home, they're going to be able to close a bunch of fucking buildings.
Yeah, you'll be able to close
Because they all
buildings,
had
you'll
to
be
have
able
them all in like a place because they didn't trust that information. But I think it ended up being way simpler than they thought it would be to have people work from home.
well,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
the
like-
the biggest thing is you're not gonna, as bad as this sounds, like you're gonna be more productive at home than you would at work, purely because you're not gonna sit around the water cooler. You're not gonna go talk to your friend in their cubicle for like 30 minutes or anything like that. Purely because, like, I would you're not going to get somebody who's going to work harder at a different place. I would rather save money on the building and pay somebody to be lazy at their home, because either, as long as they get their work done, then what does it matter? But you're not wasting money on facilities. Plus, you don't have to provide any like the
other random
some
essentials.
yeah, like
TP. Soap.
some people do, or like
Food.
some companies do sodas. Like when I worked
Yeah.
at eBay, it was they had sodas, snacks, coffee, all that. They don't have to do it anymore.
So there's another thing too is mental health. There is
Yes.
no way somebody cannot, because honestly, you have to be social with somebody. The only people we're social with actually is you guys right now, because Ashley doesn't leave the house. She literally works from home. She doesn't have to go. She doesn't go anywhere. I have the car at work because I actually go to a building because I can't do my job from home.
That's
Uh,
sexist.
So she, it's sexist.
Mhm.
I'm a supervisor. How can I supervise if I'm not there to supervise?
No, I'm just
Buy
I
an
mean,
iPad in the future. there's going to be robots. I'm just calling it now, but in the future, you're going to buy like a work robot that's programmable for or rechargeable for X amount of hours. Say you buy like a $400 robot that can do 80 hours a week, and that's your proxy. And then when you want to be there, there's going to be a little screen that you can turn on, and it's
You know
just
what's
like
gonna happen?
yeah, you can have like a two-way thing, and you'd be like,
Exactly.
you're like, shut
I'm
up,
gonna
Marco,
roll
and
my
they
little
just like
robot.
flip the little robot thing off, and you're like, no,
There's
no,
gonna be the
no.
day my little robot goes to my area, and another robot's gonna turn, and it's gonna be somebody else's iPad face.
Yep.
My
I mean,
iPad to
it's the
iPad.
beginning of Skynet. That's this whole like AI future that's going to happen, but it's just we're going to get rid of jobs like just like package handlers altogether and just replace them with these robots. So it's just like
Can't replace me.
save money
Yeah. Bet.
and buy
Drones.
a robot version of you. That's good for at
There
least
too.
160 hours a week.
Drones can't do what I do.
Not yet.
Nobody wants to do what I do.
We just need a few more ones and
Not
zeros,
even the robots.
and we'll break
That's
the
true.
algorithm.
Yeah, it's. I
No,
mean,
I think it is gonna
nobody's
change
handled
the
this
world.
right.
Yeah, I think it's gonna change the world in way bigger ways. Stuff like depression, anxiety, and stuff like that is gonna go up because
yeah.
of the non-social stuff.
Yeah, people need to
Imagine
be.
somebody who's barely going into the workforce this year,
Yeah.
and they get a weird job that there's nobody there because nobody's working, and they start working from home. In a couple of, like, then not too long, they won't know what a normal job is.
Yeah, it's just because all of my jobs have literally been involving with groups of people that I interact with, and I was talking to Jessica. I'm like, I miss interacting with people. I was at the coffee shop and I was talking to the barista guy for like 10 minutes because I was like, I just need someone to talk to that is someone.
Not you guys.
Yeah, that's not Jessica and that's not Sydney and that's not Amelia. That just Amelia squeaks. I know what she's saying, but it's like I just miss
I need to talk
interaction.
to a stranger.
That's scary.
I'm like,
too.
I will talk to this random stranger. We actually had a lot in common, which comes back to this whole thing. It's like people have more in common than what they don't have in common because the guy had family that lives in Washington next to the family that we have that lives in Washington. He has family in Idaho where Jessica's family is. He went to Arizona, which I don't care about, but he's recently getting married.
Garbage
He's my
state.
age, and he has like these other. He just was a regular person that you could relate to, and it was just like
Did you tell him to listen to the podcast?
didn't come up organically.
It's called marketing.
I'm sorry, I
We
don't
need
want
to come up with you.
I don't wanna
How hard is this? How hard
I
is
don't
this?
want to peddle this.
So, do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
You're like, I'm in a podcast. So
No, you don't say it like that. You
shout
say,
out.
do you listen to a lot of podcasts? Oh, well, yeah, I like to shop local, so maybe you can help me grow my business because I'm helping you grow yours.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I would say if I see him again, but he moved back to Idaho. He came down for the opening of Dutch Brothers.
He
and then
came
went
down to
back.
work that shift.
But yeah, it was just like, I mean, I miss hanging out with you guys. I miss going to grandma's, talking shit about Chris, and I just
still do
like
that.
I can't go in.
I know.
Like I saw you guys, and I try to keep my distance for the most part, but it's like I couldn't even like say anything. I couldn't like touch anybody, which
I
really
hugged you. I
sucked.
didn't care.
So it
I
was
was
just
like,
like,
I'm gonna give it to him.
yeah, I was just like, I don't want to
Sneeze
like,
in my mouth.
I don't want to overstep my boundaries because there's some people that are just like back off, and there's other people that are like a little more lax. I know Dominic was having a really stressful
Yes, he was.
He
thing about it.
has a can 95 though. He's fine.
But I actually know how he makes his coffee and how he drinks it. That might just be normal at this point. Your mom made coffee at my mom's house, and I don't think Grandpa slept yet.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I haven't even really seen my parents either. I mean, they came over for like a quick second October for like Halloween, but that
Yeah, I was
was
telling
just
your
so,
mom
like,
I probably talk to you more than she does at this point.
that's true.
So I know, and it's just gonna like I believe the world will be different, and if this does kill the corona, if everybody gets their shot, it might have long-term effects like you said, and it might make people weirdos, man. Like
I don't believe that this.
Yeah.
I believe because when this happened in 1920, what's weird is if you actually look up pictures, there's pictures of people wearing masks like we do now. It's very weird. It'll be different for a couple years, and we'll slowly just forget
Yeah, that was
because
just like people will just forget
it's
every
just
100 years something
recency
like this
bias.
happens, and
Yeah,
this
of
happened to
like
be our
when
generation.
when we think of when we were younger, we don't know what it was like for 1920s to live through a pandemic. Like by that logic, our grandparents should still have that somewhat in their minds, whether they were born or not. They would still be like, oh yeah, so our great grandparents would have lived through it.
Yeah. Well, I
So
actually have this.
but our grandparents didn't teach it. They and so down the line like that. I mean, because if you think about it, like that was a person ago, realistically, like or two
Yeah,
people
it's
ago.
great grandparent to go.
That is not a good way to think of time. A
Well,
person ago.
Well, I mean,
It's not, but that's what we
like
got.
I mean it just. I mean it just in the sense of like I believe that it'll be different. Me personally, I'll wear a mask if I get sick. Say
Yeah, I'm gonna be
in
more.
a couple of years, then like because I always thought it was weird that Chinese or Asian cultures would do that.
Yeah, it's just like, why
Now
are
I'm
you
like,
wearing a
oh
mask?
yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
an
I was just
American and I'm an asshole.
yeah, I want my freedom, dick. Yeah, it was just. But back to your whole 19 like Spanish flu thing. Jessica was talking to this
That's
person
an
at
offensive term.
Costco maybe about a month ago or something like that, and she was saying how bad this was, like how much this sucked, and she was
Oh,
a lot late 80s maybe. I mean, old enough to like be with her husband, like still walking around Costco and stuff. They kept their distance, and I didn't want to like interrupt because they seemed kind of hesitant already to be like talking, but they were talking anyways. But she was saying that she had a sister that passed from the Spanish flu, and she said this reminded her a lot of how the Spanish flu was.
yeah, but
So
they
it was
killed a
just
lot
like,
more.
and I was just,
Spanish flu killed an assload.
so I was
And
just,
that's weird because we have more people now.
I know
yeah,
that's how lucky we got with this
that's how
virus.
lucky and how shitty
Well,
it is with this
it was
because
supposed to be the swine flu that got us.
yeah,
That was also lucky.
that's what I don't understand too. It was just like the swine flu was a big thing, and the most that happened
The
was,
bird flu.
yeah, that
I
was like,
remember them in our lifetime. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like that was
the biggest thing is
10
those
years
weren't
ago.
and Ebola. The biggest thing of why those were lucky with the previous administration was actually they weren't nearly as contagious. Where this is,
Yeah,
it's twice as contagious for our age, and I think once you're past like 35 or something, it's even more contagious than that. And then that's also when your mortality goes up, as if you're over 35, then it goes to 3 times the rate of the flu, and for
I'm
us it's
32.
double. But like
I'm 32.
you
the
beat it.
the crazy thing is like nobody talks about those other things like mental health and everything. Of deaths have actually gone down this year, and nobody talks about that. Even though we're in a pandemic, deaths in the US have actually gone down this year from previous years. We're still at a lot of deaths, don't get me wrong, but
From like
compared to
what,
like
suicide, or
everything that
from like
happens
workplace injury deaths,
just
or
overall, like because like you're saying, the whole world came to a standstill, so that means a lot of like, even take auto accidents, you're not gonna get as many auto
yeah.
accidents if you're not going to work. So I mean, but no, like nobody's focusing on all these things. Like other things are up, suicide, depression's up, all this stuff. So I don't think that it's going to go back to normal anytime soon. I think once the vaccines roll out, we'll probably go back to normal life middle of next year.
But that's the thing is what is normal anymore? Like I think normal life will be different.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. Our new normal will be different for a couple years, but I firmly believe that eventually the mediums that were dying are going to die anyway. Like movie theaters were going to die anyway.
I think like
There's no cut.
3 to
It
5
just sped
years
it
is
up.
when things are going to be back to pre-COVID life.
But I think that just like we've realized that it is nice to use DoorDash. It is nice to stream a movie in the theater to your home. It is nice to work from home. It is nice to have all these different kinds of luxuries. Aside from
That
like
would be nice.
the only thing that's going
It
to
would be nice
change
to work
is
from
like
home.
like kids are going to be back in school.
Yeah,
Are you guys not in school? Like your kids?
My
they're
kids are too
being
young.
homeschooled.
Yeah, because the Teague is back in school.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
he
it's
went all
district
there.
by
The
district.
kids, all the
Disney's
kids
doing the
here,
online, so I'm her
like
teacher Monday through Friday.
Gotti, she started going to the ATC to do nails,
That's cool.
and she actually does a lot more online classes than I thought she would. And then she does still go into class to do technical, like
Well, and
hands-on
Yeah,
work.
like the hands-on thing.
the
Yeah.
frustrating part is there's no. So the issue is you don't want to give the federal government power over people because that's not the way it should go. So like it should go, it goes to the states. And when you go from state to state, everyone has different rules. And our governor should have been the one to say these are the standards for every public school. But instead, our governor gave the power to the cities essentially. So then the cities told the districts, you guys decide. So that's why like the way they run it in Ogden is different than the way they run it like our brothers. And we have Isaiah who goes to public school and Nicholas goes to private school. So that makes it even more confusing because Nicholas is, I think he only goes to school like once a week.
He's supposed to be
And
going full time because he said he's having a hard time with the online.
yeah, and then like Isaiah, they do the like if like A through N goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the other letters go Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they switch. So
And
like
that's got to have some long-term effects too,
yeah.
because there's
Oh yeah, the
people
school
already
Sydney
that are
schooling is fucked.
there's people already that are going into the job market that don't realize that 8 hours is not like regular anymore. Like
Yeah,
my job is 10-hour days.
yeah, they're
And
trying to big up or fix the backlog by working longer, harder, which is going to cause more, like you said, mental health, whether it's like actually getting hurt on the job or just mental fatigue or just regular
Yeah.
fatigue, and then it's just going to drag on to every like
So
if your head's not right, everything else about your life isn't right just because like personally you don't want to do shit that normally or the things you would like to do and it's going to suck relationship wise because you're usually really agitated about everything and just like back off me bitch and they just want to
well,
smoke a
it's a lot of
cigarette.
things that are hard right now. Like
Yeah,
because Ashley's stuck at the house all the time, so she's stuck here with Teague. She's already stressed out. The only person she can vent to is me. But with everything that's going on with my family, and then on top of that, work went to shit without me, and I have to worry about all that. They're asking my people that already work 10-hour days to work overtime every day, so they're working 12-hour days and Friday and Saturday. Like they're
yeah,
going to
it's
get
just
1 day of rest. They're going to be very less productive next week, and our numbers are going to fall what they were, and they're going to expect what we did.
yeah.
yeah, it's unsustainable that way. That's how FedEx and that's probably how UPS is just like we need more people because less people showed up. But when you do show up, you're not getting paid more, but you will be getting yelled at because you need to be moving more metrics than you did the previous day.
That's why I
Also,
have a
Right.
union.
no holidays, no overtime pay, and we might
We
give you
were
a
told we
Gatorade.
were all fired if we unionized.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, well then we all just leave. Then you guys are fucked. I don't care. I can
Does-
find something else. And at one point, that's what I thought because I'm like, unemployment was getting more money, or you were getting more money from unemployment than I was getting actually working my job. So it
And
was
that
just
was
like,
the hardest thing because me as management had to deal with that. Like people that went home, I wasn't one of the people that went home, but everybody that went home technically was making more money than me
yeah. So it was just
and
like, well, why am
was sitting
I?
at home
Yeah, it was
making more
just,
money than they were supposed to be making, so they didn't want to come
yeah,
back to work.
yeah.
That's
There's
why
no
I
reason to
like
work.
I was never a fan of the unemployment boost because that didn't make that like when you break down the economy, that doesn't make any sense to do that because you are literally incentivizing that. What would have made sense is just UBI. Tell everybody,
Yeah,
hey, so that way, whether you're unemployed or not, because people's hours got cut, XYZ, people weren't working as much. So what doesn't make sense is to say, okay, well, if you get fired, you'll make more money than people who are employed. What makes more sense is just to say, okay, UBI.
yeah. It was just,
Well, my company, like right when the pandemic hit, we actually did a shutdown. We literally had 10% of production going, and because people couldn't go anywhere else, they want to be on their bikes. We started selling a lot of stuff. We actually ended up already profitable this year.
Yeah.
And it's been so hard because of people that don't want to be working, and it sucked. Everybody's out for Corona now. It's so bad, and we're so backed up, which makes us look like we're not as a
meeting your
company
numbers are
performing.
working.
Right. And so it affects somebody when they're like, I want these $3,000 bike rims. Oh, you're not getting those until March, bro.
Yeah, dude. Take a number, bitch.
Hey, at least they can pre-order ours. We ain't Sony.
Well, I guess you'll take my money. If $500 will buy me a pretty decent bike,
Hey,
then I might have to just give you money.
Tony, if you actually could, hey, I can put my $500 now. Just give me one when there's one. How long would you wait?
What kind of bike, or how good is it?
No, so you say your PS5. I have $500 right now. I can put it down right now. Just give it to me when you can. How long would you wait?
Now I can Venmo you the money.
No, I mean, like, if they told you to wait.
He's saying he's saying how long would you wait for a pre-order if it's something that costs $500?
If you can guarantee it being in my hand on that date.
No, we can't.
Then I'm not giving you my money, because you'll automatically take my money out, and I won't get it until.
Yeah. And now imagine paying $3,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
People did that with Tesla.
That's true.
That's exactly. Tesla essentially ran a very successful Ponzi scheme, except they're delivering on their promises years later.
Yeah, except they're actually profitable, and they're. Yeah, I don't.
Well, but
their profitability is a whole separate podcast.
Our stuff was the thing is we can't make promises. We can't say you'll get it in a month, because we don't know if we'll have the staff.
Yeah.
Because everybody's out for COVID, man.
I'll let you know when we ship it.
I can literally miss the rest of the year, because I can just say I'm sick and I will not lose my job. I won't get paid. But
yeah, you won't get paid. That's just
job security.
Yeah, when I had all my COVID tests at the beginning of this whole pandemic thing, it was like the first time I was out for 2 weeks, and they said I was going to get paid regardless, and they're just like, "Oh, just kidding, you're not getting paid." And then every other time it was like, "Okay, you can still take the 2 weeks off, but we can't pay you." And it was just like,
well, ours is a bit different, because it say employee number 1 comes in with COVID, says I have symptoms. I talked to so and so for 15 minutes within 6 feet. The person who came in, employee number 1, goes home, no pay. Anybody we have to send home because of that employee gets paid. So we have people coming back to work, and we're like, hey, can I work more hours? I didn't get paid. And then a temp comes in from being sent home and was like, nah, I'm fine. I got paid that whole time.
Yeah, it was just.
So people are freaking the fuck out. It's so hard to manage, dude. So hard to manage.
Oh, I bet this would be the worst time to just manage anything. I could barely manage myself right now, so it's just.
But yeah, so if you're out there, let us know when you think that the new normal will be, what the new normal will be.
There you go.
And if you've had COVID, if you or someone you know has had COVID, give us a call.
DM, and we will compensate you, but we will show you Matthew's pen 15.
That's
I won't
true.
Look, I don't want it. But you
check out my hog. That's how it works. But yeah, so go ahead and follow us on our socials. Mattman SLC, your Juice Pack Matt. Still haven't fused those yet. Juicebox Tony.
Say and dance.
Marco, do you have anything to plug?
Nope. Thanks for having me, boys.
All right. Thank you for getting
coronavirus.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.